Hello students, welcome to my channel iSmile Academy. Today we will be studying semiconductor part 4. The first question: a half-wave rectifier is being used to rectify an alternating voltage of frequency 50 Hz. The number of pulses of rectified current obtained in 1 second is. So we are given AC voltage of 50 Hz frequency, which is used to rectify. We want to rectify this AC using a half-wave rectifier. So we see the diagram. This is the diagram. Okay, this is the diagram of a of the input. This is the input of AC, and this is the output of what we are getting from the half-wave rectifier. Okay. So the number of what we want to find, the number of pulses of rectified current obtained in 1 second. So here the frequency is 50 Hz, means we have this is one cycle. So this is one cycle. Okay. So 50 Hz means we have such 50 cycles in 1 second. So for this one cycle we get one output. So for 50 such cycles we get such 50 outputs. Okay, so for this one cycle we have one pulse, for another cycle one more pulse. So in that way we will have 50 cycles, or we can say the number of pulses would be 50 pulses in 1 second for half wave rectifier. Now suppose if we would have got question for this same question, if it had been asked for full wave rectifier, then what we see for full wave rectifier, if this is one cycle. Okay, so one cycle, what we are getting two pulses. Okay, so for if the frequency had been 15, we would have got 100 cycles or 100 pulses in 1 second. Okay, so now for our case, because the question is asked for half wave rectifier and 50 Hz, so we have 50 pulses in 1 second. If the question had been full wave, then would have the answer would have been 100 pulses in 1 second. The next question. In the next question, a PN junction has a thickness of order of. So the PN junction diode. Okay, if we observe this is the PN junction diode. So what is asked is this layer. Okay, so what is the size of this one depletion layer? In this case, junction, the size of the junction. So it is from 1 micrometer to 10 micrometer in range. Okay, so it is around 10 micrometer. So this is the answer. Okay, the answer is 10 micrometer. Okay. Now we go to the third question. Wires P and Q have the same resistance at ordinary temperature. When heated, resistance of P increases and that of Q decreases. So we are given two wires P and Q. Both are heated. So what we see is the resistance of P increases while Q decreases. So what is our conclusion regarding that? So what we observe is, in this case, see here we are given two graphs. Okay, at the left side we have a graph. So this is one of the graph. Okay, this is one of the graph, and on the right side also we have a graph. So this is a graph. These are two graphs. Okay, this graph represents conductors. Okay, this is the graph for resistivity of a conductor, and this is for semiconductor. Okay, so what we observe is that when we increase the temperature of a conductor, the resistivity increases. It increases exponentially. You can see here. And for semiconductor, as we increase the temperature, the resistivity it decreases exponentially. Okay, so in our case the answer would be P is a semiconductor. P increases. Okay, so in that case, because the resistance of P is increasing, so P is a conductor and Q is a semiconductor. Okay, so remember this, for a conductor, as we increase the temperature, the resistivity increases. Okay, and conductivity decreases. And for semiconductor, as the temperature increases, the resistivity decreases and conductivity increases. Okay, so we come to the next question. Question number 4. What happens during regulation action of a Zener diode? Okay. So when Zener is working as a voltage regulator, it is always operated in reverse bias mode. Okay, so we'll study the characteristics of we'll see the characteristics of a Zener diode. See here. So one of the application of Zener diode is it's used as a voltage regulator. Okay, it gives constant output voltage irrespective of fluctuations in the input and the load resistance. Okay, so when this is the graph of the VI characteristics of a Zener diode. This is the forward characteristics. Okay, this is the forward characteristics, and actually we are interested in the reverse characteristics, so this is the reverse characteristic curve. So whenever we want the Zener to operate in we want to use as a voltage regulator, we will operate it in a reverse bias mode. This is a reverse bias mode, and in breakdown region. Okay, so whenever the Zener is acting in breakdown region, we get a sharp breakdown voltage for Zener diode. Okay, so what happens in that case? The voltage remains constant. Okay, we get a sharp breakdown voltage for that particular case. We can see the straight line. So this x-axis, okay, this x-axis is the voltage line. So we see it is almost constant. Okay, it is almost constant. You can see almost a straight line. So only current and resistance changes. So what we see, the current through the series resistor, the current through the series it changes. Okay, and resistance offered by Zener also changes. Only voltage, output voltage remains constant. Okay, so this is what we have. These two options are right. Number 5, a photodiode operates in dash bias mode and LED in dash bias mode. So photodiode is a special type of a of a diode, special diode. LED is light emitting diode, it is also a special diode. Okay, so for these two cases, what we see, so here you can see this diagram. Okay, here a diode, ordinary diode, it works in forward bias, it uses rectification, and this is the symbol. LED, light emitting diode, it always operates in forward bias mode. It is used in display systems, and this is the symbol of a LED. This is the symbol of LED. Okay, then photodiode, it always operates in reverse bias mode. It is used in those systems where we want to measure the intensity of light, or something which is concerned with light intensity. Like maybe around we can have this solar cells, solar panels. Here right side you can see the symbol. In LED the arrow is going out, in photo the arrow is going in. Then number 4 is Zener diode. It works in forward as well as reverse, but generally it is used to operate in, it is made to be used in reverse bias mode. It is used in voltage regulator, and this is the symbol of a Zener diode. So we come to our question. This photodiode always operates in reverse bias mode, and LED always operates in forward bias mode. Okay. Now next question. For LEDs to emit light in visible region of electromagnetic light, it should have energy gap, okay, in the range of these are the various ranges given. Okay, so how do we calculate it? So here, see, first of all, what is a visible spectrum? Visible spectrum extends from 4000 angstrom unit to 7000 angstrom unit. Okay, so let E1 be the energy corresponding to lambda 1 and E2 be the energy corresponding to lambda 2. We first calculate E1. So E1 is HF1 and F1 is C upon lambda 1. So we are given, we know H constant, Planck's constant 6.6 10 to minus 34. C is a constant, velocity of light 3 into 10 to 8 meter per second. Lambda 1, okay, first we calculate lambda 1. After calculation we get 5 into 10 to minus 19 joules, which we want to convert this in electron volt. We divided by 1.6 10 to minus 19, we get 3 electron volt. Okay, now we don't need to calculate E2, because in our options, whatever options we are given, okay, you can see here 3.0 volt is given here. So naturally the other option will be of course 1.7. we don't need to calculate, we won't get anything else other than that. So when one is calculated, we don't need to calculate other one. Suppose if we had one more option 3.0 anywhere else, then we need to had calculated that early, but we don't need to calculate it now. So this is the answer. Next, a PN photodiode is made of a material with band gap of 2.0 electron volt. The minimum frequency of radiation that can be absorbed by the material is nearly. So here some options are given. So we want to calculate the minimum frequency, okay, which will be absorbed by this band gap. This is almost similar to the previous one. Okay, so here E is given 2.0 electron volt. We convert it into joules, multiplying it. Okay, 1.6 10 to minus 19 joules. Now we know E equal to H into F. So frequency is E upon H. Okay, is 2 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, and h is 6.6 10 raised to minus 34. So after calculating, okay, what we get is 5 into 10 raised to 14 hertz. Okay, please do the calculation by yourself also. So this is the answer. Number 8. The average value of output direct current in a full wave rectifier is I0 by pi, I0 by 2, I0 pi by 2, 2I0 by pi. So here we'll see some tables in which various values are given. You must know these values. So for a half wave rectifier, average voltage is Vm upon pi, and full wave rectifier 2 Vm upon pi. RMS voltage for half wave is 2 Vm upon half upon 2, and full wave is Vm upon root 2. Average current is Im upon pi, full wave 2 Im upon pi. So this is our actual, this is the answer which we are for our case. But we must understand, we must know this table also. So if in exam it comes, what is the RMS current for half wave, what is RMS current for full wave, so you must know this current, we must know the various values. Okay, so these are the various values which I have mentioned here. You can note it down in a book. Okay, you can even know this maximum efficiency. So for half wave it is 40.6%, and for full wave it is 81.2%. But for our present case, okay, this is the answer. Okay, 2I0 upon pi. Okay, so this is what we is given. See that, we'll check the answer. 2I upon pi. Okay, this is the answer. Next, number 10, the last one. Sorry, it's 9. If in a PN junction a square input signal of 10 volt is applied as shown, then the output across RL will be. So we are given this input, and this is the diode, and so this input is applied to this circuit. So what will be the output? We'll check it here. So here we are given the input. Okay, input is this one. This is the input. Okay, now when this input is applied at this point, I'll just draw it here. Okay, this input is when this input is applied. Okay, so here it starts from minus 5, goes to 0, and from 0 to plus 5, then it moves around 0 plus 5 for some time, and then comes back to 0 and then minus 5. Now after this point, so let us assume this is a ideal diode. So at this particular point, okay, or in this space, at this particular point, okay, this point, the diode starts conducting. As the diode start conducting, we get the output. Okay, so we will get the output until it goes to 5 volt. Okay, and then it remains 5, it will remain 5, then again as it goes to 0, okay, as it moves to 0, the output becomes 0. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so up to here, this one, okay, up to this way, the output is 0. From, I'll draw with this green one. Okay, for this part, okay, for this part we have this. Okay, this is what we have for green part. Then again for this part, it goes in reverse bias and it does not conduct. So this is the correct option. This is the right one. Okay. So we come to the last one. A silicon diode has a threshold voltage of 0.7 volt. If an input voltage given by 2 sin pi t is applied to a half wave rectifier circuit using this diode, the rectified output has a peak value of. So we are given a silicon diode which is used as a half wave rectifier, and this is the input voltage. This is the input voltage. Threshold voltage means what? The minimum amount of voltage required for the diode to go into a conduction. Okay, so this 0.7 is the minimum input voltage in forward bias mode to make it conduct. Okay, so this is quite simple. Okay, here we can see for this case Vi is given 0.7 volt. V is given, which is required to make diode in forward bias mode. Vi is 2 sin pi t. If we compare this by sine wave equation, so V0 is actually 2. The peak voltage V0 is 2 volt. So when V0 2 volt, so what if we apply this Kirchhoff's law here, so Vi, okay, this Vi is equal to V plus V out. Okay, so what is V out? V out is peak voltage V0 minus V. So peak voltage is 2 and voltage drop across, what we get, some voltage, we will get some voltage drop across diode, which is 0.7. So 2 minus 0.7, so this total voltage V is divided between diode and output. So 2 is equal to, this is 0.7 plus 1.3, so 1.3 plus 7, 0.7 make it 2, so the answer is 1.3. okay students, that's all for today. All the best. Okay, revise the lectures. Okay, and we'll meet next time. Thank you for watching.